Topic 1 of our Interactions in Ecosystems unit is interactions within an ecosystem. So when you look at a particular ecosystem or any ecosystem, we look at the interactions that occur in there. We're going to discuss that in this video today. Now the first thing we need to talk about is just a couple definitions that we need to get out of the way so you can understand what we're talking about here. First one is ecology. When we talk about ecology, anything that ends with O-L-O-G-Y basically just means the study of. Like biology is the study of bio-living things. Ecology is the study of how organisms interact with each other and their environment. Now, somebody who studies ecology has a special name. We call them an ecologist. There's lots of different kinds of ecologists out there. So somebody who studies the interactions with each other and their environment. Now, just for your interest's sake, there's lots of different jobs that include ecology in them. There's conservationists. You can have wetland management if you're interested in marshes and protecting wetlands, habitat for ducks and other aquatic birds. Agricultural management, forestry, fisheries, even city planners are involved in ecology. Community health people, there's lots of ecology in economics, and if you just simply want to study human ecology and how people interact with each other, even that is ecology. So there's lots of different places you can go with ecology if you choose to follow it as a career. Our next slide here. Okay, all living things in an environment need 4 basic things. If the environment cannot supply one of these 4 things, then the organism simply can't survive there. So all organisms living in an environment will be able to find these 4 things. The first one is they all need food. Plants make the food. Other organisms eat the plants. Some organisms eat other organisms. But basically food is the channel where organisms get their energy. It begins at the sun. Plants use the food or the energy of the sun to make their food, and then that energy channels up through the food chain to the top of the food chain, and that's how all organisms get their energy. Another need that all organisms have is they have a need for water. Humans, we are made of, that's messy, almost 80% water. Without water, organisms will just shrivel up and die. We all need water. Another need that the ecosystem has to provide to the organisms is habitat. If the organisms can't find the right kind of habitat that they need in order to survive, they won't be found in that ecosystem. Some organisms build their own shelters. Humans, we build our own homes. Birds build nests. Bees build hives. Other organisms don't build or don't even need shelter. They just need to have a particular type of environment that they're adapted to in order to survive. They have to have the right habitat. Mountain goats, they are adapted to live on high mountains, rocky cliffs, and that's where you find them. You don't find them down in the lower plains because their adaptations allow them to live up high where they're protected from predators. And the last of the basic needs is air. All organisms need air. whether they're plants and they breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen, or whether they're other organisms that breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. They all need air. We need to exchange gases in order to survive. All right, our next slide here. Let me talk a little bit about adaptations before we move on too far here. Now, organisms that are, when we say an organism adapts to its environment, it kind of brings about the wrong idea about, some people will have images of humans jumping into the ocean and all of a sudden growing gills in order to adapt to the ocean. And that's not the way to think when it comes to adaptations. Adaptations are basically characteristics that animals have that are well suited to their environment. Okay, so if they have the right characteristics, they can live in that environment. Whoops, Carrick. Okay. Characteristics that are well suited to the environment. If you have the right characteristics, then you are adapted to that environment. So birds, ducks, for instance, are well adapted to swimming on lakes because they have webbed feet. That's an adaptation that they have that allows them to swim well. Fish are adapted to swim in the water. All the characteristics that organisms have help them live and survive in the types of environment that we find them.